accounting for delays though? Could it be potentially like?
There we go.
Right, but how do you guys feel about bounty paper
it's
towels?
already on there.
Now we're live.
They're relatively absorbent. One of the things that we actually have in common actually is that we both have bounty in both of our countries.
Do you guys actually follow along, like for Kleenex or paper towels or any of that? Do you actually give a shit about the branding whatsoever?
What, like as a nation, or like me
I usually
myself?
no, like me personally, I usually just grab whatever's available.
I just buy store brand,
bounty
but like
paper towel.
Oh, we have. They're referred to as kitchen roll here, but it's still called bounty.
Kitchen roll sounds like you. Yeah.
It sounds like a pastry kind of thing, I think.
It's almost a pastry, but I can also see, like a pastry you wipe up slop with, though.
It's actually so funny though, like how enraged some British people get over the American changes of certain words. Like,
there is no hue and color.
I got friends that are like, "Oh, sidewalk. This is why I fucking hate Americans." I'm like, there are bigger things to get angry about, man.
It's called the slipway.
Welcome to part 2 of our Sonic movie podcast, special edition of Sunset City. We are in the spoiler territory here, so if you are complaining about that in the chat, that is on you. Read titles before you click on things, for crying out loud, guys.
The bottom line is, don't be stupid. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It is in giant here this morning. I put it in giant caps. It is your fault.
Yeah, like I made it very clear this morning. I take spoilers very seriously, like ridiculously seriously. Like I think I've made some of my patrons mad because I have put them on timeout for being loosey goosey in the Discord server. Like, don't fuck around.
My injuries are still healing.
And
no, I remember I was like, "Hey, I'm going to see the Sonic movie Friday," and Nick was like, "No." I was like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Do not tell me what you think about it. I do not want to know if you liked it." I was like, "All right, man. I'll just, I'll burst. I'll just burst."
Oh, believe me, it's been very. So we usually, for context for everybody in the chat, we usually talk to each other on Twitter. Because Nick took his Twitter hiatus, I've had many panics where I've looked at my phone and been 86 Discord notifications. What the fuck happened? Oh, okay. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, but you guys were asking me while we weren't live on air, but that video I posted today, you guys asked, like, was that a real story? It is 100% a real story. That is exactly what happened. And yes, I did yell at other Nick, like in a kind of somewhat jokingly fashion, but like genuine irritation in my voice. Like I was right I was next to the door. I'm out of earshot. I'm turned around. What the fuck are you doing? You crouton. You just wafer of a boy. What is wrong with you?
Okay, so like you said in your video that you were worried that you were getting quite Karen. Now, I'm going to say this, as long as you weren't saying things like, "I want this man fired," you're fine. But also,
obviously not. That job has to suck.
If you're getting a little, if you get a little exasperated or something like that, to be fair, they're a theater employee on day 1 of the film's fan release, and they're saying something like that is not like that. That's going to get some kind of consequence, really, isn't it?
All right, so we got 61 people watching right now. Last time, this is your last warning, guys. Is there anybody in the chat who has not seen this movie? If you have not, get out of here. We're going to have this available later.
Don't worry about it. If they're in here and they haven't seen the film and they get it spoiled for themselves, we can just laugh about it. Just laugh at it. Laugh at the stupid baby.
I watched it twice. Does that cancel out a viewing?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, it does.
You no longer have any recollection of what happened.
Your third time will be your first. It's virginity all over again.
Literally, like me. That's how I'm.
God damn it.
Anywho, so
TMI.
That does beg the question. Now that we can get into details, what was everybody's favorite scene?
Temple of the Master Emerald.
I figured that would be yours, Wayne.
That was everything I wanted.
I should have probably said, Nick and Pup, what were your favorite scenes? Because I feel as though Yours was a given.
It was a perfect recreation of Labyrinth Zone, down to even like the architecture leading in the waterfall that Sonic flows down to get in
With
there.
the little
He
crystals
does
and
a little
everything?
fucking spin
They
dash.
went just so hard on that, dude.
They did. They really, really did.
Yeah, it's
I love
like,
the-
dude.
I loved the fact that he actually had to breathe water bubbles to survive.
I know it was blatant, and I was all about it. Fuck yeah, just shove
Same.
it in my face.
Also, the thing is, it was kind of like a steady reveal for me. I was like, it's kind of an island, I guess. It's kind of in the water. Is it going to rise up? Are they going to call it Angel Island? And I saw Robotnik and Knuckles running through like these traps, and they had these spiked balls swinging and stuff. I was like, that actually reminds me of something. What is it? And then Dr. Robotnik's getting chased by this massive ball. I was like, Sonic 4 Episode 1. That's what this is. Hang on a minute. And then it zooms out, showing this maze. I'm like, some kind of labyrinth. And then I clocked it. I was like, it was the point where Sonic comes sliding down the water. He's like, wait a minute. This is the thing from the thing that I know. It's
And
I remember that.
And now I imagine there's going to be a PTSD scene in the next film where Sonic has to remember Labyrinth Zone, and it's going to be wonderful.
I remember actually having a conversation with some like fairly casual folks, people that are kind of interested in the film but don't really know much about Sonic. And I was like, you know what Sonic's greatest weakness is, right? And I was like, well, yeah, he runs too fast or something. Oh, he's got game critics. I was like, no, he can't swim. I'm like, you're just making that up, man. Like, it's just kind of a coincidence. No. And then at the start of it, when he falls out the boat, I was like, fuck you all. There it is.
That's been
There's way more evidence than that.
Like, Sonic almost died to a fucking pool in Sonic X, of all things. Like,
look, seriously, I said, I fucking said casuals, man. Do you really think for one fucking second that they're going to understand Sonic X? Fuck's sake, Suris! Suris!
What I appreciate about that, and I did not realize that until you mentioned the boat scene, is you don't have to rely on Sonic X to learn that Sonic doesn't like water. They establish that in the movie itself with that quick little joke there of them panicking. Yeah, I mean, that didn't really tell you one way or the other there. He just went into the ocean. But they do a good job playing up like how much of a weakness water is to Sonic, and man, like that was kind of harrowing watching him just like blast off across the ocean there.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's cool because it's like they kind of touched on that element in the first movie, but like we don't actually see it take place. So it didn't end up taking away any weight from that scene of him. I gotta be a little honest. The immediate impact of that was deflated just a little bit, only because it was prefaced with, I gotta go fast.
And he did it again. He did in the first movie.
He should have said, run, Barry, run.
Did he say gotta go fast in the first movie?
Or it was, it was in the trailer for sure. Yeah.
He said it in the original trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, God damn it. But the rest of it just carried it back in. It was really well done.
In terms of favorite scene, and I'm being serious when I say this here, it's the bit where Sonic's like, why did you save me? And Knuckles like, I don't want to talk about it. And he throws sand at him. And Knuckles
that was great.
How dare you attack me in my time of sorrow? And I was just like, I fucking loved him. He's so precious.
That's one of my favorite scenes too. It's letting these characters talk.
Yeah.
Because that's what made such a big deal. I mean, that's what really brought Knuckles over to Sonic's side. It was watching him be a hero and, show his priorities through his actions. And
well,
I mean, they were on the point about it. They were on the nose about it. But still,
that's the thing. Sorry, go on, Nick.
No, but I love that too. Like, it was just so random where Sonic's like, he's just being playful and just being a jackass. Like, fuck it.
Well, the thing I don't think people really realize about this film is actually the political connotations of this. Is Sonic represents the Democrats and Knuckles represents the Republicans, and the whole thing is that they come from different sides of the same coin, and ultimately they disagree, but they're still friends.
Well, thank you for spoiling the entire plot of The Designated Survivor.
Well, it does say spoilers, so Sonic movie spoilers.
I can't believe they
Never
adapted.
specified what it's for.
I can't believe they adapted Enemy Mine into a Sonic movie.
Can't believe they adapted my fucking jacket and didn't let me go to the premiere. Pieces of shit.
No, but
It is
I will
almost a
say this.
1-to-1.
There is a sense of kind of Sonic and Knuckles kind of coming from these different cultures that are kind of deep rooted to be against each other, like the owls and the echidna tribes, and like, you know, them putting those differences aside to work against the common enemy, which is a representation of actually the Nazis, is Dr. Robotnik.
Can I just say, so while I didn't care too much about Longclaw in the first film, knowing now that Longclaw literally murdered every single one of those echidnas before they killed her makes me go, wow, she was kind
Holy
of a badass.
Shit.
Yeah, she killed them all, dude.
She killed.
I was wanting to ask you guys about that because I wasn't clear on that. Because, like, hey, no, that is Knuckles' tribe.
Yeah.
I think it's a little jarring where they're like, hey, our parents murdered each other.
You kind of expect it like to be like, and Knuckles' dad's like, I don't want to fight you, Longclaw. We can put these differences aside. And Longclaw's like, yes, let's do that. I don't want to kill you either. This is just a disagreement. Nope, she fucking ripped their eyes out.
No, she was like, I don't listen to the words of an owl. Charge!
The blood of the Echidna tribes lies on the hands of one holographic owl. But that's the thing, is Sonic's mother, who he deeply misses and feels a great sense of vulnerability towards, is a fucking cold-blooded killer.
And didn't they and then they killed all the Chow. Hey, so question, the map that reveals the hologram.
Yeah.
Is that the first time in like however many years Sonic has been on this planet? Okay, first of all, he didn't go straight to Earth.
The Emerald. Like, there's Sharpie on the Emerald.
There's Sharpie on the Emerald. First of all, the first place he went to was not Earth, unless I'm misremembering something. In the first movie, I thought they established towards the beginning that he did some planet hopping and eventually came to Earth.
No, that didn't happen. No,
did that not happen?
Longclaw sent him direct to Earth.
Okay, okay, good to know. Good to know.
He was just like, oh, I'll look at the mushroom planet because I know I'm going to have to go there. Earth was like the first stop on the bus tour of the universe.
Because he looked at a bunch of different. He looked at a bunch of different destinations on the map and was like, no, not this one. Like that one's out. And I'm like, okay, so he's been hopping around different places. And I guess that's not what happened.
I wouldn't be surprised, like, and they could do this like prequel comics where, like, in his time on Earth, he did dick around with the warp rings and just decided the safest place was Green Hills.
Yeah, which is possible. But the one time, this time that his thumb brushes against that emerald symbol, then it turns into Jor-El, and like he has his conversation.
Yeah, like the bird mom voicemail was that was a little.
Sonic, you've got a howler.
They could have. I mean, this is where the failing of Tails here, like their utilization of bringing in Tails, where we just find out he's a fucking stalker. Nobody sent him or anything like that. Like,
I mean, he's always been that.
Could have, but yeah, but like that could have been such an easy thing. Instead of a piece of paper telling him anything, like he came across something or a magic little gem with the voicemail on it, and he had to bring that to Sonic.
Was that not the thing though? Is that like Sonic's sparkly ass from the first film created cable television for Tails, and then he watched the Sonic movie, became a Sonic fan, and decided to meet his hero because his hero was about to get killed by the Republicans. Which
kind of funny because, like, one, I did find it kind of funny that Sonic brushes past the whole like Tails spying on him thing pretty easily, considering Sonic also did that to everybody in Green Hills before.
That's fair. That's a good point.
And two, no, Sonic does not prefer bubble baths. As we've seen in Casino Night Zone from Sonic Adventure, he does take showers.
He prefers that. He's in a public environment.
He literally came out of a sewer system and used the first thing available.
Name me one other place you've seen Sonic take a bath.
Well, we don't see him take a shit, do we? But it's safe to assume that he does.
We've only seen him do one of the things. And he showers.
Okay, first things first. The games and the movies aren't canon to each other, you fucking idiot. And B, there are...
No, I want to make it this illegal... I want to make this like illegitimate argument based on like completely disconnected proof for the sake of having a funny argument that doesn't make any fucking sense. Let me have this.
Here's
There's
the
more
last.
evidence that Aunt
But
May was Peter
Wayne.
Parker's sexual awakening than that.
I have
But
given
Wayne,
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, you're forgetting the most important part of this super serious argument. Wayne, how is Sonic going to utilize his Sally Acorn bubble bath without a bubble bath?
Oh God, you're right.
I just found.
That's a real
Evidence.
product, by the
this-
way.
Is this like an Archie thing?
No, that's a real product. They had, those like character-shaped bubble baths for kids and stuff like that.
Does it
They
come in
have
like
one
a
for Sonic,
bottle
Knuckles,
with
and
like
Sally.
the
There's a
natural
Sally one out there.
curvature of her hips?
Yeah.
Or her head, at least. And that's all you really need.
You rip the head off, open the little end piece, cut it so that it'll fit your dick, and you can fuck her neck.
So again, like, remember when we said like we're gonna try to do a little less dirty? Like, we leave it at the illusion, and then
This
you
is-
just went
this
full
is
rated
less.
X.
This is less.
That's you turn it into a snuff film. That's what you did.
This is less. I don't know what to tell you. Man.
Oh, I don't like
What?
this Sally Acorn bubble bath. That looks bad.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look it up.
It's hundreds of dollars now.
Oh, and here we have evidence of Sonic taking a bath in a washing machine. So there you have it.
That's not him taking a bath. That's him finding a way out.
That's the scene from. That's him. So I just googled Sally Acorn bubble bath,
Yeah, dude.
and all I can say is nice. But also,
Rub that in my orphan face.
throw that in my virgin face.
Oh God.
But anywho, Jesus,
Dude, I just had
Christ.
a great idea. They did a Sally Acorn hand puppet.
I'm sure they had it at the.
You can, Nick. I'm gonna put some Christmas ideas for you in the chat. Okay.
Well, it's my birthday next week, so
Christmas ideas.
Oh,
Oh,
so there's that.
no.
No, hold on.
Ha-
I want you
happy
to hear me
birthday
out
to
here.
me.
I want you to hear me out. All
I know
right.
where it's going.
Yeah, you know where it's going. Come on, like you can see this from a mile off.
Yeah.
So there it is.
There it is. This is,
We're not
do you
sharing
have
that
it
on stream.
flocked, pup?
Huh?
Do you have it flocked?
No, Nick. Nicholas Apologist.
Nick,
Sit
If you
down.
see where you took it there, I'm going to
look,
finish.
man, if you're gonna go,
Of
hard on
course
this,
you're
you might
going to
as-
finish, but we need you to come back to reality, not come to
Yeah,
Sally
are
Acorn.
you?
Because
Now
like
back
this
to
is
reality.
our spoiler talk, and this is where we ended up.
Yes.
Oh, I
It's
don't
not- wait, how did
want
we get here?
this. I do not want this page open on my screen anymore. I'm gonna close that.
Anyways, okay. So back to the movie.
So like the lore I'm a little frustrated with, honestly. And I don't know if this is something they can expand upon in other and I'm sure they will, right? Like we're getting a whole Knuckles show and Sonic 3 coming out, but yeah, I do kind of feel like they brushed over some really fascinating things there. Like what's
I
going
wanna
on
know-
with the Knuckles, the Echidna and Owl tribes, for God's sakes.
That's when it turns out that the Knuckles show is literally just a talk show with Knuckles as the host.
Let me tell you the history of my people.
I'd still
They're
watch it.
Uh,
dead.
he gets the guest stars on, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Army Hammer." Okay, Mr. Hammer, I have to tell you, my family. I want to tell you the history of my family. He's like, I got a movie to promote, man. No, I have to tell you about my tribe. Okay, my dad was killed by a giant owl.
Let's get it out of the way. We got to get it done. I can't stop thinking about it. Holy shit! They have a dad for Knuckles and a wild chaos energy powered Echidna who has to be stopped.
Enerjack.
In
we have Enerjack.
Enerjack.
We have Enerjack. Exactly.
I was like watching this, like, oh, I mean, I guess they could kind of skirt around this not being lock.
No.
And then they did that. I'm like, oh my god,
They
I
did it
cannot wait to get back on
exactly.
Twitter. I cannot wait to get back on Twitter.
I did also like the foreshadowing. I caught it the second time around of one of the owls just gut punching Enerjack and just like knocking the fucking Master Emerald out of him, just so that they could establish Knuckles could do that to Eggman later.
So I'm not like an Archie fan. Excuse me. I'm not like an Archie fan. I got a tickly throat today. I'm sorry. Again, I haven't really read the Archie comics. I don't really know of Enerjack, but knowing the fact that they snuck in a little Archie character like that, that's kind of badass. Not gonna lie.
Dude, like that prequel comic like if you read Fleetway or Archie from back in the day, I'm like, this is that Knuckles. Like, holy shit. And then the movie happened, like, oh my god.
Wait,
Well,
hang on.
that
I googled Enerjack, and why is he dressed like the sexy alien lady from Duck Dodgers?
It's funny because while we were
Like an
watching
Egyptian motif, you mean, Pup?
He's like wearing like a black jumpsuit, and he's got like this nice little necklace thing on, and he looks like the sexy Martian from fucking Duck Dodgers.
That's
Who also had
Dark
an Egyptian
Enerjack.
motif.
I want to fuck Martian from Duck Dodgers.
we were
Dark Enerjack was my favorite Enerjack design.
my friend and I were watching the movie last night, and the weird like tribe people came out of the warp ring at the beginning in the Mushroom Planet, and my friend leaned next to me and he said, are those the Chozo?"
My first thought when I saw them, because of the mainly because of the headdresses, I was like, is this their way of bringing the Babylonians in? Is this how they're gonna do that?
Well, they didn't look like
Stretching,
Jet the
it
Hawk
felt
and
like-
shit. Like,
It did, and even in my brain, it felt like a stretch,
Yeah.
When I,
wouldn't mind it, though.
so
wouldn't
again,
mind it.
I haven't read the prequel. I have seen that they are in the prequel. I'll say it does work standalone, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, so these are just some other folks that Knuckles is just fucking bringing along with him. Okay, seems kind of silly, but I guess it demonstrates Knuckles' power right from the jump.
I know. I don't like it when they just throw in elements and don't really explain it. It
I
really
thought
does-
it was.
these guys are C-3PO's red arm.
I thought it was like some fucking Monty Python shit, and they were just gonna be like, "We are the knights who say," "Neh," and then they were just gonna do some fucking head banging on books or some shit.
I just don't understand you bringing in. I'm fascinated by those guys, and I want to know what their deal is. I don't understand bringing them in and not expanding on them, because now I want to know what's going on the other worlds in this universe, because there is Nick, you were talking about the prequel comic in your video, and you said, and I completely agree with this, they did a great job making this feel like a universe that was lived in. Like, the world building here is actually surprisingly solid.
Hell
Yeah, and they did a great. We had a quick little conversation when that first came out, and you'd read it, I think maybe before me, but like we had a little separate private conversation. We're like, dude, there's a lot to chew on here. I was not expecting this. And it's in like a couple of the shorter stories, because I could give a shit about Sonic's story in that prequel, but yeah, man.
This is honestly why I still think they might do Chaos at some point, but they're going to handle him differently.
I think there's a chance for Chaos now.
I mean,
think-
if we go by prequel logic, there's those ruins happen because of chaos energy, and it could be warring tribes, 100%. But I do like the idea that there is a force out there that just has chaotic energy that is fucking up things. Like I was like, oh, I wonder if that's what Tails is running away from, or something along those lines. Like he needs to find somebody who can tackle a problem as big as this. Man, I fully understand why people are super, super upset with Tails being a stalker.
His origin story's always been like that. The difference here is that he's a whole fucking galaxy away rather than like being up Sonic's butt. Here's
my problem with this specifically, and I do kind of mention it in, again, this video that may or may not come out. It's clear they did the research, but I needed them to go a step further than that, because with Tails and with Knuckles, it was like, oh, you guys read the instruction manuals. Cool.
He loves
I'm
grapes.
glad there are grapes here. Neat. Where the fuck is Angel Island? What is the deal with Tails Village? I want to see what's going on there.
I gotta ask about that, because I don't know where that's established. Knuckles likes grapes, I guess?
Yeah,
it was in an instruction manual.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Sega tries to pivot so much of their world building on stuff that's in fucking manuals that no one ever reads.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I remember, like I said a moment ago, like being like, oh, okay, yeah, the fucking island's underwater. Is it going to raise? Is it going to be Angel Island? I was like, yes, the iconic location of the Master Emerald.
Labyrinth Zone.
Quite an interesting. I'm fine with it. I just want to get that out of the way. I'm fine with it. I was just happy to see
with the way that they did it in this movie. It kind of makes sense though, because the idea is not that this is like the standard resting place of the Master Emerald. This is the hiding place away from Knuckles' tribe.
And
right. I mean, I was going to get to that. Is like obviously I'm probably I don't know if I'm in this room the biggest Sonic 3 fan or not here, but that game is
It's
supremely important to me.
yeah.
And therefore this movie was going to be supremely important to me. But I understood going into this, like, we're not going to get every single element that makes Knuckles what he is. But I was hoping that eventually, like, we're going to get Master Emerald stuff and we get Angel Island stuff. And just considering how they set up that first movie, I thought this was kind of genius, where we have a Knuckles who has not yet been in contact with the Emerald or Angel Island, and this in turn is kind of like a backwards origin story for him, because it's not Sonic coming to his home and causing like a mess here. This is Knuckles actively seeking out Sonic, which is
That's another
fascinating.
thing though, because I said this about Sonic 1 as well. They took the villain characters or rivals or antagonists, whatever you want to call it, and made them more proactive. Look at Robotnik, for example. In the games, it's usually Robotnik's like, I'm going to build an amusement park. And then Sonic's just like, fuck you. I'm going to ruin all your fun. Like, Sonic is the active person in that role. Whereas in Sonic Movie 1, he's like a government agent mercenary. I'm going to like fucking kill that fucking hedgehog right now, man. I'm going to fucking steal his quills. And then you got the same with Knuckles, where it's like, it's not like, hey, Knuckles, I'm going to take your big fat fucking rock. And he's like, you come near that fucking rock, I'll fucking bend you over, bitch. Like, no, it's more like, I want this rock. You can't have it. No, I want, give the fucking rock. Give it. Give me the fucking rock.
I do wish, because they did establish the Owl tribe versus the Echidna tribe, and I do think that eventually I like the idea that Sonic and Knuckles put their priorities in order and understand that these are good people. Like, the two of them are good people, and they have their hearts in the right place. I do think they kind of, like they did, like establishing Tales, they did kind of jump past the sins of our fathers, if you will, like of the failings of their parents that led them to, you know, being alone and stranded, and Knuckles still fervently trying to carry on the goal of his tribe. I mean, I guess they do establish why the Echidnas did not have that emerald to begin with, but I don't think Sonic ever stops and asks Knuckles, like, well, what are you going to do with that kind of power?
Can I also just note, there's something that Sonic 2 did that the Batman also did, but Sonic 2 did it better. Now, if you haven't seen the Batman yet, put your fingers in your ears. But the whole thing with like the Batman was like, were my parents corrupt? Were they with the Falcones? And it's like, oh, maybe they were. But then Alfred's like, yeah, nah, it wasn't a big deal. With Sonic 2, it's like, did Longclaw really slaughter a bunch of echidnas? Yes, she did. She dragged their fucking eyes out with her beak. She fucking scarred those fucking echidnas.
I was shocked that they showed that on screen in a kid's
their
movie.
names on their damn bodies, and it burned them. She fucking murdered them.
I mean, that quick little flashback and that art in the flashback was fantastic.
Oh, it was so good.
It was really good. But like, I thought it was weird that owls just look more like owls than anything. And I'm seeing in the chat here, and I've not confirmed it for myself, but apparently the owls are part of the Babylonian tribe. So we need to do a little bit of research there, because if that's the case, that's awesome.
So do you think we might be seeing like Jet the Hawk and Wave the Swallow?
Oh, that would almost make sense, actually.
They come in with their extreme gear. It's like, hey, you met Longclaw, this ancient order owl. Here we are with our fucking skateboards, man. We're the next generation of this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get, switch up the designs of the birds a little bit here, or just accept that there's different types of alien birds. But my point about the owls is, I thought it was weird that Longclaw looked like a proper owl, but now that I see her fighting echidnas, now it makes sense, because in the real world, yeah, the smaller rodent-y creatures, they're going to get fucking murked by birds of prey.
Dude, I also like fucking. What if Jet the Hawk is Sonic's sort of brother?
Oh, no.
What if they're sort of brothers?
I don't need Jet the Manic.
He's green. He could be Longclaw's kid, and he's like, Longclaw likes you more than me. I'm gonna fucking race.
That'd be a fun relationship. I need to know why the hedgehog was being raised by owls. And yeah, spell ICUP says it.
That's very tales of you there, buddy.
Oh, that's so good. I did not catch that. The owl tribe are just the Chozo. They are. Yeah, but I want to know what's going on with our owl Chozo. I really do.
I did find it interesting that so we have some different origins behind some stuff here. Like, it's established that not only were the echidnas like the guardians of the Master Emerald, they made it. Like they gathered the Chaos Emeralds and they constructed them into the Master Emerald.
I need more of that. I need to know
I
what's
need
going
to
on with there.
know. It's cool, but it's like I want to know more about that. For what purpose did they create it? Was it just for conquest? Knuckles mentioned towards the beginning of the movie, he says he's trying to bring the ultimate power back to his homeland. Is that Angel Island? What will it do when it gets there? Are the emeralds going to grow back into that previous size we saw them before they were turned into the Master Emerald? Does the Master's Emerald have a power of its own now? Because the Chaos Emeralds were scattered after Supersonic, was done with his thing, and then
Very Dragon Ball Z.
He reconstructed the Master Emerald after that. So like the Master Emerald is now something that can exist without the Chaos Emeralds.
I was very interested in that. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
I had a realization. I've never seen the film Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole. But okay, so I haven't seen it. I don't know what they're guarding. But what if they're guarding the Master Emerald and Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole is the first entry into the Sonic cinematic universe, and it just so happens to be directed by the king, Zack Snyder.
Was that movie really directed by Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
It was hence why it is so pretty. I've only seen trailers. It looks pretty. I'll say that much.
I remember seeing the movie once and then forgetting everything that happened in it.
I'm generally not enticed to watch movies about owls in general. I'm not going to lie.
I like owls. Owls are
prevalent as they are.
I like them. I just don't need to see movies about it. It's like dogs.
Owls are my favorite animal, but it's like there's not much I want to see out of them in a movie.
Owls are your favorite. You got like dogs and owls are your favorite animals.
Oh, I fucking love owls. Owls are the best.
I didn't know that about you. That's adorable.
This is news.
I just want to state you are definitely not owls' favorite animal though.
Dude, this is like your movie, isn't it? They got ancient temples and owls. Ancient temples built by owls.
And the owls commit mass genocide. I was so fucking happy.
It was everything that I want. Like anytime that they were doing like temples and shit, they went to Ice Cap and they found like they found like that.
Oh, the Rise of Skywalker, the compass to the actual thing.
Yeah,
the map leads to the compass.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was very, very happy anytime any of that like temple hopping adventuring was going on. That's what I want out of Sonic, to be perfectly honest. That's like my favorite thing from this franchise.
Go on.
I was gonna say, can I just when you mentioned the Rise of Skywalker thing? Literally, the minute that Eggman came down into the mech when he was in his super form, when he was like rising down, my brain just immediately went, "This really looks like Palpatine's antechamber from Rise of Skywalker."
Man, that's what that reminded me of. Okay,
I got a joke for you, Wayne.
Okay, is it
knock
me?
Knock.
What's up?
Knock knock.
Come in.
Man, this is how we're using our limited time.
No, I need to do this. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who?
Who?
You're an owl.
Pain.
Wayne.
God damn it! I had a point that I wanted to make, and I don't remember.
That was not there. Holy shit, that was not there, was it?
Yeah, let's get this super chat out of the way. We're cheating a little bit here, but Sonic Pox sent us £2. Wanted to ask if y'all saw the Perfect Chaos mural. I don't think there was one.
Don't get me excited about that shit.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah,
if it's there, I need to know when and where.
I need to know where these people are getting this information about the Babylonians and Perfect Chaos and stuff like that. I do not take things at face value. I'm going to do some research.
Yeah, because that sounds like speculation. But if somebody's just saying like, nah, there was just straight up a Perfect Chaos mural in there, I need to see that. Because if they're leading up to that, if that's their big like
end game event.
Yeah. Because holy shit.
Can you imagine if they decide instead of like... Because with this movie, they did 2 character reveals. They did Knuckles and they did Tails. So it can be safe to say we're probably going to get 2 character reveals if they keep the same line. We'll get 2 character reveals for the 3rd movie.
If they prioritize Chaos over Amy, they
We need
gonna
Amy.
be a
We need
problem.
women's suffrage.
We need Amy.
I think bringing Amy in the game that has Shadow, or not the game, the movie that has Shadow, means that,
That would be quite cool.
we can get the wow, both of these hedgehogs sure do look the same joke out of the way.
And the bit where she makes Shadow cry. But I personally
Yeah.
think that Amy should be saved for when they adapt Sonic the Fighters.
Oh, so I'm curious about a lot of this because I was a little like Nick, you had said something in the Discord, and I completely agreed with the sentiment where it's like Shadow, or what we've seen of him so far is every fan edit that we've seen up to this point. But then again,
what else was he going to look like?
Pup,
Because
yeah,
it's
and then
either.
Pup said that too. I said all of this in my upcoming video. It was like,
Yeah.
like Pup said it perfectly. Like, well, what else was he going to be?
yeah, it was always going to be that. But it's
The art style is down. Like, unless there's an actual flawed character design, these characters are going to stay in that same look.
I do love that they established, they said it's not in space. I listened for that last night. It's not in space. They just said it's coordinates and that it's been buried for a long time.
It's a black.
Well,
site.
no. We don't
It's
know
a black
for sure.
site, yeah.
We don't know if it's in space or not. They
I mean,
said
to be
that the
fair,
information
Shadow
is buried and it's a black site. That could be anywhere.
To be fair, though, Shadow
if-
was not found and uncovered aboard the space colony arc. He was found underground in the original game.
Yeah,
and
that
let's
is
keep
true.
in mind too that Eggman does have his own unique satellite base out there orbiting the Earth. They established that in this movie.
Egg
Also-
Station!
Also, note that they said that they stumbled upon that file while trying to clear their database of Robotnik. They didn't
Right.
say Ivo Robotnik.
Which would be why it grabbed Gerald's files.
You know, another thing I really
Mhm.
like, though, is that if Sonic 2 walked into Nick's bedroom and jacked him off, Sonic 3 just looked me in the eye with the after credits and went, "Your turn."
That's definitely, yeah.
God, wow,
So-
that's one for the ages.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with Shadow. I'm really happy that they're like, yeah, no, this has been something that's been buried for 50 plus years. Like this dates back a long ass time. I want to know why this hedgehog looks like an alien hedgehog. I want to know where Sonic came from. I want to know why Longclaw was taking care of him. I want to know why all these characters have goofy superpowers and why they all have the same effects as the Master Emerald's like lightning thing.
I think we're going to find out.
Yeah,
I really hope we do. I really, really hope we do. I
And-
want a deeper connection between Sonic and Shadow. I really do. That was always my biggest problem with Sonic Adventure 2. I know it's tropey. I know Dark Mirror characters. I mean, it would have been lazy if he was just like a clone or like a long lost brother or something. But I want some connection outside.
Okay,
that's
hear
a
me.
hedgehog.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, this is gonna go off on a tangent. I believe it was Golden Bolt was making a video about Sonic Adventure, about the Sonic Adventure games or something, and he made a point of they recreated the Chamber of the Master Emerald on the Space Colony arc, right?
Yeah.
So that means they've studied Angel. These people have studied Angel Island. They've looked at a lot of these runes. Did they maybe stumble across that mural from Sonic 3 showing?
That is a popular
Sonic-
fan theory, but they need to.
Yeah.
Sonic
They
Pox
need to
wasn't
say that.
lying. Sonic Pox was not lying about the perfect chaos.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh my god!
He wasn't lying. There it is.
Man.
Oh,
It could happen.
Oh,
It could happen.
fuck!
Well, okay. So this only.
Sonic 4 is going to be the one for you, my boy. You're
So-
going to get
so-
jacked
wait,
off
wait, this
by
is
a
actually-
hedgehog.
This is actually connected to what I was just talking about. What if in the movie universe, while they were like looking through ancient temples and everything, they stumbled across something that the Owl tribes left behind? They found murals of perfect chaos, and they were trying to create basically what was supposed to be the weapon that would confront it, and they thought hedgehog because maybe some of the murals depict that. That's why Shadow was created as the ultimate life form.
This would be the perfect time to establish some of the fan theories we've had for literal decades at this point.
I am so excited by this, Pup. Thank you for showing me
I will
that.
pull, I will
Put
put
that
this
in
on the
Sonic
screen for
Fox.
everybody.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Nick Fox, because he sent me these pickies.
Oh, thank you so much. This is so cool. I'm
but,
losing my goddamn mind.
Yeah, like one of the theories that I had was that Shadow would get quite a drastically overhauled story, and it appears that no, they are being a bit more faithful. Is the whole Project Shadow thing? I am hoping that they do the Maria thing, but because I can't see Paramount ever signing off on an actual little human girl getting capped, I think they should make Maria Robotnik like a sentient android. Like maybe that's like Gerald made that as like someone to keep him company.
Do you want Maria Robotnik as channeled by the Red Queen from Resident Evil?
I want more of a Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Blade Runner kind of thing with Maria Robotnik.
I don't hate this. It's especially like I find that easier to believe than I think it's you get to the same point, but without the needless complication of space aids.
I also like the idea of creating that juxtaposition between Ivo and Gerald in that Gerald Robotnik creates these synthetic life forms to create life, where Ivo Robotnik creates these life forms to create slaves.
Yeah, no, see that I would like. I would also. So here's a burning question. I have like two other like really big points I want to get to today in our discussion. But the first one I wanted to ask you guys, because I was wondering about this last night. What are we doing with Robotnik now?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they set it up enough that they have things here that can probably survive on its own if they need to. So if they have to rely on Shadow carrying the story, they're going to rely on a story without Eggman reviving him. Or Agent Stone does it, because we know Agent Stone survives.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want them to. The thing I like about Agent Stone is that there's an untapped potential with that character there, and I feel like there's more you can do with him. I personally would not mind if Jim Carrey's really just retiring and he doesn't want to come back to this. Let Stone take over. He adopts the mantle of Robotnik, and he becomes the new adversary. It wouldn't be the perfect solution, and it would make a lot of people upset. I understand that. I would be okay with that. It wouldn't be my first go-to, but I think it could work. But yeah, that's my thing, is Jim Carrey saying he might be retiring from acting. It's really hard to imagine a Sonic movie going forward that doesn't have Eggman.
We can really just do the Archie thing. Like our Eggman died. We got a new one.
The first thing I'm going to say is this, and like as well as that, the Sonic movie producers have come out and said that they would never dream of recasting Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I don't entirely agree with the whole notion of only one actor can play this role and stuff, but like, go ahead. But like, it's a publicity stunt. I'm saying it straight up. It's a publicity stunt. Jim Carrey's basically said, "Oh, but if they were to give me a script that was just so good, maybe I'd do it again." And then there's like the whole producers being like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure we can get him back and stuff. We'll have to see. We'll just have to do a really good job with that script." And then like fucking Jim Carrey even just recently been like, "Well, I want to wear a fat suit. I wanted to wear a fat suit in the previous ones." So basically the whole joke is going to be, "Oh, look, he's wearing a fat suit. He got what he wanted. That was the leverage to get him in the movie. Ha 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 ha." Very good.
My thing was, because I remember, Easter egg, man. They
bunnies.
I remember before Jim Carrey actually said that he might be retiring. I remember thinking about the movies, and they made that announcement that they were like, "Yeah, we're building a cinematic universe out of this. We've already like begun development on Sonic 3 and everything." And I remember thinking to myself, how far can they take this? Because Jim Carrey is not the kind of guy I see tied down to a very long-running franchise. And I was wondering at that point, how are you going to handle this? Because I remember thinking, this is where the fork is in the road. Like, they're going to have to figure out a way to either like get Jim Carrey to really commit to this for however many years they plan on going, or they need to figure out how to do this without Robotnik.
I'm okay with them saying like, okay, Agent Stone goes on to become Eggman 2. He gets like the red outfit, he gets his own wacky mustache, and he's kind of doing all this in tribute to the original Dr. Eggman. And maybe they could reveal that he's actually worse. He's more competent than the original. That would be kind of cool. I don't like the idea of like, oh, look, it's Sonic's iconic arch nemesis, Agent Stone. Like, no.
I don't.
Yeah, don't call him Agent Stone anymore. Like, don't do that.
There is no Sonic without Dr. Robotnik. Like, for the Gen Pop, I know I'm going to get a bunch of people now in the chat that are like, oh, but Sonic in the secret. For the Gen Pop, for the mainline stories, for anything that's going to appeal to everyone, you cannot have Sonic without Dr. Robotnik in there in some capacity. Even if it's just a cameo, they've got to have Dr. Robotnik. And if you can't do that, then you do Eggman and have someone else take up that title. They're the new Eggman.
I did like that they pulled the Sonic Adventure thing here with the name Eggman.
I need to throw a hot take on the ground here.
Sure.
So, when they announced Jim Carrey, that was something I've always been thinking about here. I don't know if he's played the same character for 3 whole movies ever. I think he might be the Valve of actors. I could be wrong there. So I've always kind of prepared in my mind that this was going to end before the movie franchise did. And, I mean, Batman movies exist without the Joker, and I don't think I want Eggman back. I really don't.
It seemed like a good way for him to go out.
I loved what we got on screen, and I was satisfied because I was frustrated that first movie did not give us that classic Sonic and Robotnik interaction, especially with Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey playing the characters. But at the end of the day, the problem with Jim Carrey is he just consumes every scene he is in, even in a world with CGI animals. And I'm still here for Sonic, and I would not mind having a new villain here that doesn't have to share the screen with the manic energy of Jim Carrey. If he comes back, I'm all for it. I really am. But I don't want him back. If I have to, like, gun to my head, like, I would like to see other characters shine, give him some time to rest if they do convince Jim Carrey to come back in another aspect of it. And again, I'm with Agent Stone here. I think his strength was him playing off of the crazy energy of Eggman. I don't want him as the lead villain. I like to see him kind of help push along. Like he finds Gerald Robotnik stuff and he helps activate Shadow. And then he plays, second banana to Shadow or something like that. But
which was Shadow's strength. He's a manipulator.
I mean, I'm not saying that Eggman has to have a huge role in every single film, but I think there needs to be like a presence for him at the very least. Like, for example, Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. Eggman does not appear. He just appears on a monitor for a brief moment before Metal Sonic goes rushing in. That's enough, but as long as he's got that kind of presence, because it's just not complete without him. And I would also say, like, you can have Jim Carrey rein it in a little further. Like, I mean, already, like, his Sonic performances are very reined in compared to 90s Jim Carrey or his Riddler. Like, they are reined in compared to that. They can rein it in further. They can mature that character as time goes by. He doesn't have to necessarily be the big bad in the future, just someone that's pulling the strings behind the scenes. I think, we can't kill this guy off until we've seen him make a big evil base with lots of traps in it. I want to see a scrap brain or a death egg or something.
I understand that. I don't like when you get someone like Jim Carrey that big, like it's kind of up to him how that goes,
And it doesn't help that, like, yeah, it can be hard to see like this franchise really moving forward without Eggman or without Robotnik. But at the same time, how many times have we really tried that? We don't know that it's not going to work. I think one of the strengths that this film franchise has right now, right out the gate, it is stronger than it deserves to be. And that was like, I had a friend, my friends that were with me last night, we were leaving, and like the two people that were with me, the one guy is not really a big Sonic fan, and he's walking out to the car with me, and he's like, man, movie had no business being that good. And I was just like, yeah, it's like, this is something that's enjoyable for everybody. And I'm like, this, again, it's got a lived in world and universe. I would like to see Eggman or Robotnik come back, if not physically, in spirit one day, but it might be worth it to to try to not use him as a crutch. Like, you can write other villain characters. You can do other things. Hell, do like some form or fashion of like Gerald Robotnik that like Shadow is kind of using to his advantage. I don't know, but it's like, get creative with it.
I think having Agent Stone, Gerald Robotnik as like a Jor-El type of character for the purposes of this, and Shadow would be enough of a villainous entourage to carry the third movie.
Oh wait, that
Steve.
actually sounds kind of cool.
Steve from Sonic Boom, his shape-shifting brother from another dimension.
There you go.
You know what? I would take Knack the Weasel, voiced by Woody Harrelson,
Voiced by Woody Harrelson.
or Owen
right.
Wilson. Owen Wilson, maybe that'd be quite funny.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I love Woody Harrelson. I don't know if he's got the voice for voice acting.
We should get a Jaleel White cameo at some point.
Oh, we absolutely should.
Did anybody else feel that just so we don't veer too much into what comes next, just so we can get back to the movie itself, but when we got the Eggman mech, did anybody else feel that, like, while he was speaking through the robot, I kind of got a little Mike Pollock?
I absolutely did. Yeah.
There are times when he does put on the gravel voice, like, and even in Sonic 1, he had moments of that, but like it was much more here.
Yeah. When he first arrives on the Mushroom Planet in that mid-credit scene of Sonic 1, like, you could hear him doing that Mike Pollock voice, which I don't think Mike Pollock was very happy about. But like, no, him speaking through the speaker system in the mech, like, I could definitely hear that.
I think Mike Pollock, it wasn't that. Mike Pollock was saying if it was an impersonation of himself, then he feels like he's owed a little something for it. But what his thing was, he said the bottom line is he's just putting a little gravel in his voice, and that's all there is to it. So it was kind of like if it was an impersonation, then yeah, that's not great, but like otherwise fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of sounding a little Ken Pendersy to me personally.
I felt that way about Mike Pollock before, but I'm neither here nor there.
On the one hand, it does. On the other hand, we also know that voice actors in the film industry tend to get sidelined by standard celebrities all the time. Anyway,
and far be it for me to be misunderstanding of that. I mean, we were campaigning pretty hard for Colleen to actually get some recognition, so maybe that's just all Mike is going for. He doesn't get that outside of like the Sonic community. In the business world, he does not get that level of respect.
Yeah, like I understand the frustration for Devin. Like Mike Pollock himself has even said he would have loved to have played this role on the big screen.
I would be honest, if we lose, so I'm gonna throw something out there it is stupid, it is a bad idea, but if we were to get Mike Pollock as Eggman on the big screen, they would have to pull in Archie. It would have to literally be like, your Eggman is dead. I'm the Eggman of this dimension. I am much worse.
I'm going to straight up say we're going to get a reboot sooner than later.
Let me. We're only 2 movies in here. I do think, like any superhero movie, we have to accept that the hero needs to carry on without the Joker or the Red Skull. Or
the thing is, though, like those are comic book villains, and many of those characters have lots of big stories without their arch nemesis.
So
Sonic, on the other hand,
that's fine, but this needs to do its own thing at some point.
It can't be held down by what the games have or haven't done before. It needs to be its own.
Right. And I mean, either way, like I said, like the real world scenario is like Jim Carrey has such a career under his belt and so much power that he does just what he wants now. There's no way I believe they managed to get Jim Carrey to sign on for a multi-movie franchise deal. It was always going to be this situation here. I thought it was amazing that we got him back for a sequel at all. So I guess ultimately what I'm saying is if they bring him back, I'm going to be happy for it because I am enjoying him. But I think we do have to accept that him talking about retiring is always a real possibility, and we're going to just have to accept this might be all we get. And, I mean, if we do get another Robotnik, let me float another idea by you guys. What if Gerald's not dead? or he's
Dude.
digitized.
Okay, bring Gerald Robotnik in and have Mike Pollock play him.
I'm going to say this, though.
Oh,
Gerald should not be a villain.
I disagree. That man is not moral.
I saw Gerald as less evil, more sick. Like, Robotnik,
He
Dr.
tried
Ivo.
to kill every living organism on the fucking planet.
Yeah, you can do horrible things out of being mentally sick. He's mentally sick. He's someone that was pushed over the edge. Robotnik, fucking Ivo, is just like, gonna take over the world, build an amusement park, and I'm doing all this because I'm a megalomaniac. I'm doing all this for myself. Memes. Whereas Gerald's like, humanity fucking killed my granddaughter. Fuck this whole place. And
No,
it doesn't
one guy with a sidearm killed his granddaughter.
It doesn't justify it. I get that, but I see him less as evil, and he can still be like a villainous presence. But I see him less as evil, more as someone who is sick.
I mean, just have Gerald as Thanos. Like
what?
He's a relatable villain.
Yeah, have
man.
him as a
Gerald. He's still a villain, though.
Like
He is still very much a villain. He
relatable.
created the Eclipse Canyon, and I do not believe that when they were writing Sonic Adventure 2, they had any of that stupid like Shadow the Hedgehog plot in mind. Like he still made that
on an asteroid.
Yeah, but he was trying to he's more of a Mr. Freeze kind of a villain, you know, like.
And that's still a villain.
Yeah, but you could do that though, couldn't you?
Mr. Freeze is generally considered to be more of an anti-villain, anti-hero kind of deal. But like,
I would say maybe he wasn't a villain before, but he evolved. His madness devolved him into a more tyrannical villain, and maybe that makes him worse because he used to be a good man that was broken.
There's an ambiguity to it, like because even at the end of like Sonic Adventure 2, Robotnik's just like, oh. Do you think my grandfather really wanted to destroy the world? Do you think he had it in him and stuff? And then Tails says that stupid fucking line that sends Robotnik back into his villain career. He was so reconsidering. He was so like, oh, maybe I should be a better person. And Tails was like, he's like, all right, okay, I'll be a villain then.
I kind of put a Mandarin twist on that line for some reason. We all did it
together, and you'll never see me coming.
I don't know. I never saw Gerald Robotnik as redeemable, and I refuse to see him as redeemable.
The man just needs therapy. He needs therapy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. No, mass genocide on a global scale. You don't come back.
Okay. Let me just say he didn't actually do it, but B,
I don't care if he did it.
Listen. You have a bad day. You have a really bad day.
Thanks, Joker.
You have a really bad day, and you're someone who's very mentally sick. You might, I don't know, punch a coworker, but you don't have a fucking space colony arc at your disposal. And I bet if you did, and you had a bad day, and you were sick, you'd fucking try it.
Programming a giant monolithic space station, that is not an instant process. You got to put work into that. That is not a bout of rage. That's an evil mind.
The only difference between you and Gerald Robotnik is one bad day.
Okay, so first things first is we are really overestimating the writing quality of Sonic Adventure 2. I fully believe...
I'm not at all. I'm taking it at face value for what he was doing.
That Sonic Adventure 2 wanted to treat Gerald as kind of an ambiguous sort of an anti-villain kind of thing. And then, you know, there was like...
He was a plot twist tragic villain, man.
I mean, can we also note that fucking Sonic games will be like, oh yeah, here's Dr. Ivo Robotnik. He kills a bunch of fuckers in like a global war, but now he's teaming up with Sonic to take down the Zeti.
Yeah, it's inconsistent.
Like they don't know how their morals work, but I fully believe that they set out to make Gerald much less an evil mustache twirling villain, much more of a.
I'm always debating that.
I'm hurting. The world's gonna feel my loss. I'm sad.
Well, it's okay. Yeah. If shows like Steven Universe taught us anything, it's that tyrannical dictators that go on Nazi-esque crusades can just sweep it all under the rug as long as they hug it out.
He wasn't a Nazi-esque crusade. He wasn't doing a slow burn kill. He was just going to zap planet Earth out of existence.
Yes, we call that a blitzkrieg.
About Steven Universe.
Yeah, well, I'd much rather get blitzkrieged than fucking worked to death. Put it that way.
So, guys, we are still in speculation territory here. The wild thing is, though, regardless of how much we debate about Gerald Robotnik, we live in a world where there's a very real possibility that he's gonna show up, right? Even in mention.
Yep.
Oh,
He has
absolutely.
to.
Oh my god,
100%.
hold on. I gotta dig this up again because Lulu Moppet has made a really good point. How can Shadow be redeemable when he wanted to destroy humanity?
Congratulations! This is literally the conversation Sonic had with Shadow in the 7th issue of IDW.
Well,
That's
it's
what'll
the
make
same
Shadow
principle
interesting.
with Gerald Robotnik. Gerald would have been like, I should have done that, oops. Whereas, like, Ivor would be like, I'm gonna build a theme park.
So Pup, what is this argument anymore? Are we speculating on what Sonic 3 can be, or
I was basically saying I don't think that Gerald Robotnik should be an actual villain so much as a presence.
oh. I mean, I'm just throwing an idea out there. I'll say this: just what they did with the Knuckles and changing up his backstory. I really, and when we like actually pick apart how stupid the storytelling can be in the games, I really don't think every little thing needs to be as precious and put on a pedestal as. I'm sorry, a lot of people do with Sonic Adventure 2 specifically. There are going to be changes, no two ways around it. But at the same time, though, like after they handled Tails and Knuckles the way they did, and Sonic himself, I think we're in for a good rendition of Shadow here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most I'm asking for is that they understand what made Shadow good in the first place, even if they change things.
I think they do though, because that's what they did with the Knuckles. They changed
they
up his
did.
backstory considerably.
I have faith, but just because they, get Knuckles doesn't necessarily mean they get Shadow, so I'm not taking it for granted, but
I'm not. I gotta be honest. I don't know
I've got
that
faith.
I ever had the same vibes with Shadow in any other game that wasn't Sonic Adventure 2. I feel
I
like
agree.
that's the only time he acts like that character.
Yeah, he's a different character after that.
Yeah. I think
I've
he should
always-
stay dead sometimes.
No, I agree. Shadow's one of my favorite Sonic characters ever. He should have
Yeah.
stayed dead. Like his story was much
He
more
was
meaningful that
cool.
way. Can we also we need to address something here. So there was, of course, the age-old argument between Nick and I, two orders of heroes who've been fighting for centuries. Nick was of the firm belief that Shadow the Hedgehog would be a much more marketable character for these films. I was of the belief that Metal Sonic would be. Now, Nick played a good hand. He played his hand correctly. He did everything he needed to do to win that argument, and yet he still lost because in the end, I got what I wanted, but not what I ever expected.
Isn't that the weirdest thing? Like, we got so heated in that episode, but like when you like put the cards down on the table, who do you like better between the two of them? Pup?
Shadow.
And who do I like better? Metal Sonic.
Yeah, I wanted Metal Sonic, but I was also of the belief that Shadow is more marketable.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another chance to get
So,
another big name actor.
I
But-
see it as like, that's a ballsy move. That's a ballsy move, but it's one that if they do it right, then yeah, absolutely game for it, man.
I still think it's probably the safest bet they could have gone with.
Yeah, it's not so much.
Okay, you fucking asking for a fight here, boy.
Look, I don't think it's. I don't think bringing Shadow in
myself.
is a. I don't think bringing Shadow in is a ballsy move at all. I just think it's literally like
right.
the
You,
logical
me,
next step.
You,
I think
me,
Metal-
Sonic the Fighters, Death Egg Eye, we're gonna go at this bitch.
Actually,
So
no, Pup,
here's-
you and I are fighting on Smash.
Well, here's the thing, though, guys. Like,
do that.
regardless of where we argued about it, the fact of the matter is we boiled it down to two characters. And regardless of what we did or did not know, because I didn't know shit about the... I went out of my way. I was spoiled about Supersonic. I did not know what was going to happen with Shadow. But, like, it is still predictable enough that the fan base did boil it down to one of those two characters. You know? Like, it's... I wouldn't really say it's ballsy. Like, it was an inevitability. Even if they did get Metal Sonic in here, Shadow was going to show up. And
Yeah.
I just... Like, why I went with Shadow, though, was because, like, okay, if Metal Sonic does not show up, then there's a chance he's never going to show up. But in my mind, Shadow had to happen. Regardless. He had to happen. And now... post these debates and arguments, I'm sitting here like, oh god, I really hope we get Metal Sonic somewhere. And I'm also nervous that my viral tweet saying they're not going to shoot a little girl is going to age very poorly.
I still
very
don't think they're
poorly.
gonna do that.
I hope they do.
I want them to. I need to see the blood.
Speaking of things I didn't expect, but the rest of the world seemed to, Supersonic. So the reason I didn't expect this was because I thought it was going to be, okay, they introduce this emerald in this movie, and then they'll introduce other emeralds in other films, and eventually they'll build up to like Supersonic.
Yeah.
So I was caught off guard when Sonic was down and he's got the emerald and it collapses, and then just the 7 little ones pop
The
out.
7 chaos emeralds just pop out. It's like,
I was like, wait, you what? I went through all those fucking half pipes, and all this fucker has to do is just hold them?
So I'm really confused here, though, guys. Like, did nobody else picked up that the emeralds were in there from the flashback?
I mean,
they established that at the beginning.
They established that. It's just we didn't expect. So we knew that the Master Emerald had been made from the Chaos Emeralds. What I don't think any of us expected was that
they were inside.
Well, we knew that we knew that they'd be there. What we didn't expect is that they would be utilized in this film. My thought, when they established that, was that the ending of this film was going to be like the Master Emerald depowered because Eggman had pushed it to its limits, and then the emeralds would come out, and that would be like one of our reveals was like, oh, the Chaos Emeralds are being introduced. They're going to be part of the next story. Instead, it just happened all at once.
Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to utilize the emeralds until I got fucking spoiled, and I knew Supersonic was going to be in the movie. But like, I mean, like I just knew about that like 15 seconds before I walked down and sat in the theater, and I was like, well, how are they going to explain the Chaos Emeralds then?
To be fair, though, it could have also. Oh fuck! I interrupted you and forgot what I was going to say. I feel terrible.
No, you're fine. Like I was wondering, like, does the Master Emerald just contain enough energy that it powers up Supersonic, or does it turn out the Master Emerald is actually the green Chaos Emerald, and they need to go find the rest of them? And then the flashback showed them talking about the Chaos Emeralds, and then they did that quick flash of all the emeralds within the Master Emerald. I'm like, oh, okay, well now we know where they're at.
I was just like, they're so little, they're they're tiny.
Little baby
I like
emeralds.
that because that's how they were in the older games.
Wickle, yeah, but then there's the Master Emerald. Sonic can't stand on top of that. Like,
I think they're going to be small if the Master Emerald. That's the smallest we've ever seen.
I want the giant.
It's gonna get bigger.
I want the giant piss emeralds from Sonic 4 Episode 2, where they're like literally the size of Sonic and just holding them in the air.
I think all of those emeralds are going to grow. I think they're basically like absorbing power around them, essentially. And I think Chaos Emeralds.
Sonic takes Viagra.
I think of the Chaos Emeralds being free now. Which, okay, hey, for a second, did anybody else think that Supersonic was about to go Fleetway for a second there?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, they kind of set that up when he's like, "He's not your Sonic anymore."
There's
never mind.
They had to do. And that's where I was like, okay, guys, like, I mean, that's vague enough. Like, if I posted that on Twitter, we get enough people arguing, like, oh, no, that's a pure coincidence. Not everything is. Yeah, they didn't do their research for this movie. Fuck yourselves. I do think that was a reference.
I do too.
I had that in my head. I think that was a reference.
And then I like that he made a fucking chili dog out of chaos power.
Yeah.
And then the way they both fall on Knuckles, and it's like, you're almost expecting him to, like, lose his shit, but he's like, no, he's the same Sonic. He's just completely chill about it while he's got fucking sausages in his eyes.
My favorite shot in the movie is like beyond everything else. I love so many of the visuals in this film. The thing that made me the happiest was Knuckles propping up Tails on his shoulder and walking away with him.
I love like they established the brotherhood between them. Like the theme of this movie is family.
Yep.
And finding your family and your tribe, as Knuckles literally says there, and they don't all know what they're searching for until like the priorities are set in motion here. And yeah, I mean, it was amazing to see Knuckles put his stuff aside to help out Sonic, and Sonic put aside, like, understanding, like, his first reaction wasn't like, hey, your parent killed my parent. It was like, man, we both lost a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I really, really like Tom and Maddie, and I like the family dynamic that they have going on there with him.
I agree with that.
I like that part of it.
I like when Sonic finally calls him dad as well. Like,
it broke my heart. I loved that.
The beginning of the movie, the whole like you're supposed to be my friend, not my dad. Then at the end of the movie, he's just like, actually no.
At the end of the movie,
I love that scene where he's pretending he's like an airport fucking staff member, and he's dressed up like the nostalgia critic, and he's like, come through, beep beep, you got medals on you.
God, I
thought
didn't
that was
realize
so
Doug
cute.
Walker was going to be in this and the Batman.
Oh man, it's like, you know, in the Batman, it's like you killed my parents. In this, is your parents killed my parents.
Which has keys walk on down. I put people on planes so you don't have to.
Damn.
Oh man, yeah, we got to talk a little bit about how Supersonic looked as well. Like he looked good.
He was
He looked how you'd expect.
beautiful.
It looked
Van
That was
renders and
some
all that.
Unleashed vibes, baby.
And then
Oh,
the 06,
yeah.
the 06 reference.
I
where he
did
just
not
taps.
notice that.
The
until
foot
you
tap
said it.
was
I like,
beautiful.
and you know what? Like another thing, and like of all people to miss this in this thing, this is like convincing me like I need to go back and do my audio again. The reference of Knuckles, it's Knuckles who knocks out the Chaos or the Master Emerald energy out of Robotnik.
Yep.
He's done that shit to Sonic, Mecha Sonic, Metal Sonic. Is like, it's his thing. He understands this shit. He understands his power, and he just severs it from the.
And if anybody thinks that's a stretch, who reformed the Master Emerald at the end there?
It was that. I fucking loved that when he's just holding the broken pieces, just puts his hand over it, and it reforms. It's like, oh, that is
Also-
beautiful.
Oh, somebody's played Adventure.
I've also I noticed something else as well. The robot. We keep calling it the Death Egg robot, but I'm now inclined to call it the Giant Egg Robo because
It's the Eggman robot, yeah.
it's powered by the Master Emerald. B, it sneezes fire out at Sonic like the
Yeah.
fucking Giant Egg robot.
Yeah, I like the mustache attack.
It's
And
not-
then they like
It's in
attacked
the
his hands as
manual.
well.
Yeah, the
Also,
fucking-
like Sonic's revelation is like, I'm the groin. Actually, okay, can we quickly talk about like some of the so the line of Eggman that I was talking about that I thought was like the best line was "Get me off of this piece of shiitake planet." I thought
yeah,
that
I
was
knew that was the one
actually
you were thinking of.
a good
Yep.
pun. I like
Damn
the puns are hit and miss. Like when Rachel's like, "Snow, my god," when the snow's coming, I was like, whereas like
Oh, that
piece
was-
of
that was a little
shiitake.
rough. It
was
just
good.
depends on who's delivering it, though, because I
Yeah.
think Eggman was deliberately cringy here. Like they understood the groaners from their first movie, and they said, "Oh fuck yeah, bitch, we're doubling down."
See,
And-
Oh, you don't like
was-
flossing? Bitch, we're flossing again.
Yeah,
I-
Wallace, that's
I
the scene, isn't
hated
it? That you
that.
hated.
It is. God, fuck that.
I
I
like it.
loved it. I loved it.
I like
loved
it now more that I like it now that I like Fortnite. You know? Like when I saw Sonic movie, I was like, Fortnite is so cringe.
It just seems so on the nose, like blatantly, like I'm gonna rub your fucking face in it. And the meow
Also-
line and everything is like, yeah, I was like, we know you don't like it. That's why it's funny to us. I love
and the
that.
farting as well, because there was that fart
Well, they
scene in
were
Sonic 1.
obnoxious about it.
And
I
in this-
loved it.
I loved
Yep.
the animatronics. That's Metal Sonic. Put
Well,
him in.
Make a March Madness next year, baby.
There he
Dodgeball Sonic.
And he's just like, oh, sticks in. Oh god.
God damn it.
I love.
So I do understand we're on a bit of a time crunch here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've probably got about 10 minutes left, and you said you were on a time crunch as well.
There are things I would like to go get
And
done.
we've
yeah.
got super chats to read too, so
We
let's
do have
breeze
super
through
chats.
this.
I
Let's
do want
get
to
through the super. Yeah, go for
I
it.
do want to
sorry.
throw one last thing out that this movie did that I really enjoyed. The beginning of the first movie, outside of the establishing story about how Sonic lands on Earth, is Sonic finding ways to entertain himself while he's absolutely fucking lonely. And the opening of this movie is the exact same thing, except it's Robotnik. And I love that parallel.
That's a good point.
Also,
I-
speaking of parallels, the ending of this one paralleling the baseball scene from the first one.
Yes.
Such a
Yeah.
sensible way to end it.
Except now he's got his homies there.
That was
I mean,
great.
Amy, Silent Amy fans might get what they want. They might introduce Amy as like, oh, I can have friends and I can fuck. But the
My
last
love
thing
quest
I'm
is
going to
over.
mention here, and I don't know why I just thought about it now, but Sonic having his own house party, I thought it was cute. I wonder if the mohawk is a reference to American.
I
Sonic
thought
is
It
mine?
has to be.
it doesn't
and-
have to be.
It doesn't
not,
have
but
to be, but at the end of the day, like I thought it was fine. But I openly laughed when I just saw a lawnmower in the middle of the living. Like, what is it doing here? I thought it was great. I loved it.
This is still so much to talk about, but I'm going to basically quickly go into the negatives because we've been sucking this film's dick. the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Okay, so fucking midway point in the film, I don't have a problem with the wedding. That's fine. I don't really have a massive problem with the gun review, and I don't have a huge problem with Maddie and Rachel going and using Tails' gadgets to stop the gun agents. What I do have an issue with
in his Bible was funny.
What I have an issue with is it being a sham wedding with that soapy moment between Rachel and her fake groom. And then the whole, oh, what a woman, he's actually falling in love with her, was just shit. And it goes on way too long. And yeah, it's a total low point for the film and the Sonic movie franchise so far. Fortunately, it's quite quick, but it does feel like it outstays its welcome.
It also really kind of underplays the importance of gun. Like, they're taken out by the bride and her sister. They're just hanging out in the. It was so stupid. I really genuinely hated it.
If gun only just came about now because of Sonic, who killed Maria Robotnik?
She's even dying, we'll find out.
Yeah, there's a whole bit of information there, and
it was the guys from the start of the film that came out of the ring.
That could be the next villain too. I mean, they had that dude that was in the movie for like 5 minutes who just got yelled at by Robotnik, and that dude plays villains in everything. Like, you just bring him back as just like an evil gun agent or something.
I mean, that would be in line with what we got in Shadow the Hedgehog. It would be playing around with it a little bit, but that's. I mean, evil gun agent is one of the villains.
Like this. I think
Will Shadow get a gun and a motorcycle as well?
Please!
He's
just
almost
at least
dead.
for one scene. For one
Gilly's
scene.
right. Yeah, like he's trying to tell me to care about characters I had no reason to care about. Yeah, that felt like I was sitting through a deleted scene. I've never felt that while watching a movie before.
And I said it earlier today, I don't even think it would have been that bad if that scene hadn't been so poorly directed.
Wallace, before we wrap up as well, what was the other scene you didn't want?
Oh, the Siberian dance sequence.
I thought so.
I love
it. All Siberian culture, by the way.
Huh?
Just, I mean, like, that's some 90s ass shit there. Like, we're going to take this strange, like, European, I assume, is Scandinavian?
I was having fun with that scene. I liked that they got goofy with it. They were like, oh, it's the grandmas crocheting like a skull and crossbones. They chop off a fish's head and it says run. That's some SpongeBob shit.
I love that.
I love that scene so much.
But when the dance sequences started, I was not feeling it. And then he puts on Uptown Funk and I was just like, it piss off. It was like, get this scene out of the way.
Fortunately, I kind of like Uptown Funk.
This is why I said that I feel like this is a film that's out of its own time, but I don't mind that. It really feels like this film is trying to be a 90s film, but done like really well.
I mean, the thing I also like about the dance scene is that they do get creative with like the visuals going on. Also, it has that thing from Sonic, the thing from Sonic Adventure 1, the pose. But like, I like, Tails making duplicates of himself to outdance the guys. And I just like the ending of it where like these previously threatening Siberian folks are lifting them up on their shoulders and stuff. It's a real feel-good kids movie moment,
I know. I wanted more of what happened afterwards, which was the conversation between Sonic and Tails. Like, I understand that the dance scene was there to kind of unify them properly. Like, they've been doing all this stuff together, and even in this dangerous situation, they're having fun and they're playing off each other and they're becoming brothers. But I needed more of that conversation afterwards where Tails is finding a home with his hero, like a home that he's always longed for. And Sonic is getting in turn what he's been longing for, recognition of his heroism, and that's in this little fox here, and I thought it was precious. And Knuckles, oh my god, like I'm just spoiling what I'm saying in these videos, but like when he says like, you are my friend, he doesn't say that past tense to Robotnik. Like, he doesn't have the same understanding of what friendship is compared to other people, but he takes it like everything else so seriously. And it was that moment with Tails and then that moment with Knuckles. I just wanted to give them hugs. I love them so much. They're so good.
Tails, we got a situation.
I guess we can also take it that the McDonald's mention every 30 minutes thing was bullshit. Like, because I didn't detect it.
They didn't mention it once in the whole movie.
I think that was just Sonic Show making jokes, but
they
okay.
Like, he mentioned Yeah.
Might have taken Weezer seriously. I don't know. I
They
have
meant
no idea.
gullible assholes.
They mentioned Olive Garden, but I thought that was hilarious.
Hey, you're the
Exactly.
Olive
It was
Garden
them
guy.
doubling down on all of the stupid jokes from the first movie. They said, "Fuck you guys. They're all back. All of them."
Wait,
Don't
but,
worry about
hang
it.
on, this is-
We'll send her a gift card.
No, but this is a vicious cycle now because what's going to happen now is people are like, oh, I didn't like the flossing, I didn't like the Olive Garden stuff from the first movie, and they were like, yeah, well, fuck you, there's more of it. So in movie 3, the whole film is just going to be Rachel.
Guys, I have a suggestion for us here because we do not have time to get to super chats in 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
What do you guys say? Since we already did the super chats from last week, we do a major super chat show next week because we clearly all still have a lot to talk about with Sonic 2, and I think we'd have a lot of fun maybe predicting what else they could do, maybe with the Knuckles show, and we can, properly take a crack at these questions here and give them like some thorough thought. What do you guys think?
We've
I'm
got
okay
them all
with that.
saved. As long as the audience is happy, I mean, they don't have much of a choice, do they? Give us your money. You get no choice how we use it, though. Ha-ha!
I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't think we have a lot of super chats here, but that is a decent solution as long as the audience is happy with that.
I'm going to create a poll and put, are you happy with that?
Well, I mean, you have to go in like literally 2 minutes, don't you, Suris?
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, I can end the stream. We've learned that now.
Technically,
Well.
yes, but you also can't turn off OBS, which will still be recording everything from my end.
Well, then we get poo cam at last.
God damn it. I'm not even going to be home.
Well,
Fridays I leave.
Poo cam is still poo cam, even if it's not at home.
Oh,
We
God.
still clearly have an exciting set of ideas for what could come next for the movie franchise, and I do feel like this is probably why they held off all the other Sonic projects, because they knew once the movie dropped, this is all anybody's going to care about for a little bit.
That's a convenient ratio. I'll stop it there.
Fair enough. All right. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and just wrap it up for today then. Thank you guys for your support on Super Chats. We will be reading all of these next week, and whatever you guys are generous with next week, it's going to be a super chat show and predictions for more Sonic 3 stuff. So until next time, thanks for hanging out with us.
Absolutely.